run away. We're not allowed to even think outside the box.
Nazir Afzal has prosecuted dozens of honour violence crimes. He says some families' idea of honour becomes corrupted when they move from Asia to Europe. So corrupted, they think it's acceptable to harm or kill their daughters.
They have no connection as such with the homeland, and therefore they have this blinkered view of what it was like, which might be several decades out of date. And therefore they need, or they feel they need, to exert this influence over their children here.
Saima Afzal was in an abusive arranged marriage. Her parents helped her escape it, but they still face criticism from other community members.
That community policing you is absolutely real, and the pressures that parents face, or my father, for example, when he sits in the mosque, he gets it, both barrels. Your daughter, she's not married, she's still single, you're not being a good Muslim father.
So how big a problem is it? Last year, a charity which advises victims had 170 calls to its Honour Network helpline from towns and cities in the northwest. So far in 2012, they've had 89. The fifth worst city in the country for calls is Manchester. Honour can be a glue that binds communities together. We spoke to Asian teenagers in Blackburn about what honour means to them.
Asian families basically are all about honour, so we have to make sure we do things like appropriately, or whether it's walking on the street with a girl, make sure you're not holding hands or anything like that.
Everyone does care about what people think. Like, people say stuff, people care if they're being talked about. And to be honest, I'd care as well.
Nazir Afzal believes education and early intervention are needed to stop honour-based violence.
It'll die out when young people realise that they have power, when they have the ability to control their lives, when they're supported by older people, even if it's not from within their family, it's from outside of their family.
For some, changes in attitude will come too late.
I've had to change my identity, I've completely changed my name, the way I dress, the way I look. And he keeps threatening me. He keeps saying that he's going to get me one day. He's going to kill my daughter. He's going to kill me because of this honour, because of the fact that I've shamed my family name.
Andy Gill, BBC North West Tonight.
First, though, over the summer, hundreds of thousands of teenagers will head off with their families for a holiday abroad, but some of them may never return. Others will come back married or pregnant, forced into wedlock with someone they haven't chosen and may never even have met.
It's a plight that Shafilia Ahmed found herself in Pakistan before she was murdered by her parents. Right now, the summer holidays is the most dangerous time for those at risk. Our investigative reporter, Abby Jones, has this exclusive report.
Shagufta Khan has just been told to expect a teenage girl rescued from abroad by the forced marriage unit.
They're bringing her back into the country, possibly by the end of the week.
Staff at this Blackburn crisis centre now have to find a place for the girl in a refuge. At one time, they say her case would have stood out, but not anymore.
Summer holidays are a dangerous time because the young people are out of education and there is no contact with other professionals. We do find that young people will disappear abroad. Till September, you're not going to realise that that young person hasn't come back. You'll have empty seats in classrooms, whether it's school or colleges.
Tabs was studying for her GCSEs when she overheard her parents plotting to marry her abroad.
My mum and dad were getting phone calls from Pakistan, from my cousins asking for my hand in marriage. He was 30 and I was 15.
With her sister's help, she refused, but later the plan was resurrected.
I was panicking. I felt like it's really going to happen now. That's it, the time's come. I'm 18 and they will get me married off. It's got to the point where my tutor gave me a metal bracelet and said if I found myself in the airport, just to have it on me. And when I'm going through the machines, it will beep. Someone will take me aside and that's when I'd say I need help.
A forced marriage is different from an arranged marriage where bride and groom consent. Figures are hard to come by, but in Blackburn there have been 5 reports from schools of forced marriage since September, an increase on last year. Greater Manchester Police say 10% of the forced marriage and honour-based incidents investigated in the year ending this May involved children aged 17 or under. Not all victims are female.
We're going to go speak to a gentleman who has left the family home because he's gay. He was forced into marriage, taken out of university, and he now feels that he can no longer live a life the way he is with his family. He feels that he is in potential danger. We wouldn't be very happy. You go into a family do this soon, because who's going to be there and who knows what's going to happen.
I don't think anyone in the wider family knows. I think that's why they want me there, just so no one knows what's going on.
I don't think people see it as an issue for men, but it is. When you do speak to young men, they'll say to you, well, I don't want to go because I know this is going to happen. I have to do it because it's my duty towards my family.
Education is seen as key to preventing forced marriage. At this Lancashire college, it's discussed in and outside the curriculum.
This is an issue that we have had to deal with in the past, with young women not appearing in September, despite our best efforts. Really, it's one of the major safeguarding issues that can be overlooked. And my concern is that too many schools shy away from this issue.
It was Tabs' tutor that helped her escape being forced into marriage.
Parents, they force their sons or daughters to get married thinking they're toys or something like that. And they need to understand that at the end of the day, it's their son or daughter's life and they need to live it happily.
Until then, there will be more gaps in the classroom, more children who disappear. Abby Jones, BBC North West Tonight.
Now, if you've been affected by any of the issues covered in Abby's report, you can get help and advice from the Forced Marriage Unit. The phone number's coming up on the screen. It's 0207 008 0151, or you can log on to this website. It's www.karmanirvana, one word, karmanirvana.org.uk.